Alexander the Great, the man, the myth. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good. Great to have you here in Las Vegas. Can you tell me, fight camp and getting ready for a championship fight, at this point, what's different about how it used to be?
It's always been pretty much the same. You know what I mean? You have to put the work in, no matter who's in front of you. Maybe there's going to be certain game plans and that are going to change. So a bit of that will change, but a lot of times it's just get yourself ready, prepared for war. You know what I mean? You never know where the fight's going to take you. Make sure you're prepared for that. What's different? I mean, I'm not 27 years old anymore. Can I do? Even though I can still handle pretty good workload, I think we need to be a little more cautious with how we do that. You know what I mean? And even though I'm feeling great, just make sure we're not overdoing it. Because if you want to milk out these last few years as much as you can and get extra fights, it's the camps that's the hardest. Fighting's the easy part. So I obviously want to stick around for a little bit. So we probably need to. That's probably something that's changed. The workload, just trying to be real calculated with it. Obviously, the volume's always been there. Maybe bring the volume down, but the intensity has to stay high. So maybe that's just a little bit different.
And obviously getting ready for Diego Lopes, who you just fought, and you obviously beat to get the belt back. How do you describe Diego Lopes as an opponent?
He's a dangerous guy. Dangerous, a gamer. And he's going to bring the fight every single time. He's got a head of steel, and he obviously can hit very hard. It's a very dangerous guy. He's not afraid to eat a shot to give one. He'll literally, all he's got his eyes on is that target. He looks at your head as a target, and that's all he focuses on. He doesn't really have too much defense, to be quite honest, because he's so dialed in on landing those big shots, and sometimes that can be some of the most dangerous guys.
You have experience in rematches, especially as the champion, the trilogy with Max Holloway among them. What is it like for you to get ready for the same opponent again who knows what you're going to bring?
Well, there, that's it. We need to understand that. I mean, there's a lot of footage of me out there anyway, but not only that, we've already fought. So, can you go out there and do exactly the same thing? Probably not. So you're going to have to mix that up a little bit. But for me, luckily, I've got obviously a great team around me, and I'm a fighter that knows how to mix things up, and I can obviously completely change things even on the fly. But give me time to prepare. Like we do have time, we'll come up with the right game plan and I'll execute.
You're the champion again. What was 2025 like for you to bounce back the way that you did?
Yeah, it's a big part of the story, man. It really is. It was so much happened in all of that. That big break was great for me as well. Great for me to really, how could you say, maybe find out who I am again, maybe. I don't even know if that's the right way of putting it, but I would say that. Outside of fighting, there was a bit of that. That's 2024. But then to come back from that and then get back to, all right, let's go in there and do what we do best, and to go out there and get your hand raised as well, it was pretty incredible. Obviously, I wanted to have another fight this year. It just didn't turn out to happen, but now, at least that little bit extra we got to wait. We get to fight in Sydney, so it's all good.
When you speak about finding yourself, or however you want to describe it, in terms of taking some time away and going through some tough times as far as the results go, what do you remember thinking?
There's a lot. I'm an overthinker as it is, so there's a lot that goes through the head. But there was different stages. There were stages where I tried to literally, for the first time in 15 years, just put everything else first, and like my training schedule on that last, and which was that part was pretty good, and I was able to actually do that. There's one thing saying that's what I'm going to do, and then actually being able to do it. But then as soon as it was, all right, let's start picking up that workload, talking about maybe when we're fighting, obviously now it's like, all right, we need to get ourselves in. You're going to ask yourself, can you do this? Can you get yourself back into that sort of mindset, that same mentality? Because it was a big change for me to not be fighting, for me to sit back, and for 15 years it was just schedule, and then everything else worked around that. So it was a big difference for me. So it was a bit of trying to find out, am I going to be able to be that same guy? And after a few good sessions and a few good weeks of training, it didn't take long, especially when you got that fight locked in. It's all right, let's do it. And it was good because as soon as it did get announced, I flipped that switch, which there was questions before that, would I be able to do that? Obviously I did. I went out there and did my thing as well. So yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to go through all that as well. So them questions are going to be there. You know, everyone was obviously saying, is his chin going to hold up? You know, ring rust, you name it. He's getting older and all that sort of stuff. I'm thinking the same things as well. So it was good to go out there and just sort of be like, there you go. I showed you, I showed myself. Let's move on.
And you walk around still with that shirt on that says champion mentality right now. What does that mean to you, and why is that so important to have that be a big part of your brand?
And it's got nothing to do with just a fighter, you know what I mean? Like, I know it's, you know, I'm a champion, I do the mixed martial arts, but just that championship mentality, mindset. You know, if you look at any champion or anyone that's successful in anything, it's they all got the right stuff. You know what I mean? You have to have that right mentality. You got to work hard. You got to sacrifice. You got to be disciplined. You know, that's what goes a long way every single time. You know, a lot of people want to know the secret all the time. What's the secret to success? And it ain't no secret. And I think everyone knows that. But who's willing to do what they need to do to be successful? That's the hardest part. A lot of people know what needs to be done, but they can't be bothered. It's too hard. It's hard work. You know what I mean? They can't be that disciplined. They don't want to make the sacrifices. But if you want to reach the top, usually that's all it takes. As I said, no secret.
And where did you learn that?
Life experiences. You know, it's one thing that I'm sort of lucky, you could say, that I just had that in me. Maybe through life experiences, through the way I was raised. So I've just always had that work ethic, and you know, and once I was dialed in, the discipline and everything you need to get to the path, or that path to being a champion. Like, I'm just glad that I sort of had that, and then I got to understand it. I didn't understand it until after I was champion, to be quite honest with you. I did all the right things. I didn't fully understand it till a couple of years after I won the title. So it's I'm still learning. I'm still learning more about myself, but it's all properly starting to make sense, and I, you know, got a real good understanding of what it takes. And then it's funny how I know what it takes now, and it's so simple what it takes. But like I said, it's no secret. We could all tell, you know, we're all going to have them same conversations about what it takes to be successful, and the work ethic and all that sort of stuff. But just some people just aren't willing to do it. I don't blame them. It ain't easy. There's a big chunk of you goes with it, but that's what it takes.
I was curious when I was looking back through your records, 22 fight win streak until you ran into Islam Makhachev the first time in Perth. But yet I was going to ask, what do you think back on that 22 fight win streak and go, man, I didn't know anything. I thought I knew everything because I was just rolling through everybody. I was the champion, and kind of like what you said, you didn't realize until after you became champion have all this experience. Of what it takes.
Man, it's. I didn't think too much of all that. It was weird because people will throw numbers, and you are champion, defending champion, and you're doing all these things. But one thing that's always helped me be better, you know, I just always had that drive to be better. I didn't really care about any of that stuff. It was me getting back in the gym and improving on my skills and leveling up. And, you know, and that's hard. A lot of people can't do that after 3-4 fight defenses. I was able to do that. And it's pretty cool to look back at that now and be like, you didn't care about all that sort of stuff. You just went back in and did what you needed to do. And I think, you know, when you talk to my coaches and anyone around me, I think they're always going to go back to that and be like, you know, Alex isn't anything special, but he just did what a lot of other champions aren't willing to do, or other fighters aren't willing to do. Like, after a fight, I'm back in the gym doing my thing, you know. So it's funny because I didn't pay attention to that. I just went through the motions.
Can you speak to, my favorite thing about you is probably the fact that you took the long road, and then once you got there, you were so ready to stay there. You weren't brash, you didn't talk your way into anything. Can you speak to the value of the long road when you weren't the it guy on the rise, but then we couldn't deny you, and you were so well prepared to stay there. Can you speak to not being talked about, not being tabbed as the next big star, and just working your way up? Because that's how you became one of the biggest fighting stars in the world right now.
Yeah, well, it's something I'm proud of, because a lot of people, I say this quite a bit. A lot of people ask, you know, what's your greatest accomplishment? And I always say I was able to be myself through the whole process, and I still am me. I forget that I do this stuff sometimes. You know, I'm on my farm doing my thing. I walk the streets, people saying hello. I think I just know them from school. I'll be like, oh yeah, the fighting thing. Like I literally completely forget about it. I'm just me. And you're right, it was a slower process through everything. You know, I didn't have the hype, I didn't have the push from everybody and whatnot. But in saying that, even while I was champion, it still took a while for people to really get to know me, understand me, and take a look. But now I feel like, you know, there's so much love. The love that is just incredible right now. And I think that's because, and they're loyal. They're not just, you know, as you say, people, the hype and all that. People jump on the bandwagon and then very quickly to jump off. I feel like I'm in a position now where, because the way I did it, these people are feel of maybe more of a connection. Maybe is that the right word? But so yeah, I feel like no matter what happens out there, I'm always going to still get that love, and that's because I was able to be myself through that whole process. That's something I'm proud of.
Obviously, you're going to get a lot of love in Sydney, where you get to fight and defend your belt for the first time, defending your belt in Sydney. And I know that was massively important, that you fight in Australia and in Sydney at the end of January or February 1st down under. Can you speak to the location and what that means to you to have this stage to defend your belt?
Now this is home, proper home. Obviously Australia, no matter where you fight, it's still home. But the last time I fought in Australia was Perth. And even though I didn't get my hand raised, probably one of the greatest moments of my career. Just the atmosphere and everything around it was just so good. And in Sydney, I think, is just going to be able to times that by 10. I think it's going to be crazy. I think literally everyone I know is going to be there. Like, you know, this is an opportunity for everyone I know that's always wanted to come, will be able to be there. And, you know, there's been so many people that have followed me through the journey, been a big part of it. But now they get to actually be there for the first time, because, you know, it's not like everyone can just travel the world and watch me fight. So to be able to do this at home, it's just going to be that little bit more special. Not a little bit, a lot more special.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm very, I'm thankful that the UFC made that happen.
Earlier, you mentioned the stages of going through a career. As a champion now, there's a lot of new, hungry contenders on the rise that you haven't fought. For a while, you were such a dominant champion, there wasn't a lot of names that you hadn't fought in the top 5 and deserving of title shots. What do you think, as the sitting champion right now, as the message to the division, as Movsar is out there, Lerone is out there, obviously Diego is scheduled, and the other ones that you haven't fought, in terms of your role in obligations, or whatever word you want to choose, in terms of how you'll attack
man, like
defending your belt?
It's pretty easy. Just keep doing your thing. And one thing that I will touch on is, you know, there's obviously a lot of people. You got Diego, who's getting the rematch. There's other names out there that people wanted to throw, but you got to understand when you're the guy like Diego, who's going to bring the fight every single time, won't say no to anyone, fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. You're going to be putting yourself. You're going to take the opportunities. Opportunities are going to come to you because you're that guy that always will put your hand up, or whatever it is. Yeah, you need this guy. Yeah, whatever. Who? Like, yeah, sign the contract. No dramas. And I'm a big believer of that as well. Obviously, I'm a big believer of rankings and all that, but also I've always been a big believer of, you know, not saying no. You know, I've obviously taken short notice fights. I'm like, I'll fight anyone, anywhere, anytime type thing. So I know that goes a long way. So for the people in the division, I mean, take the opportunities that come your way. Don't let it slip by, because the last thing you want to do is be, you know, upset that, you know, you're missing opportunities. But don't worry, because I'm going to do my thing. And after I do that, you know, be careful what you wish for as well.
Last thing I'll say, Dana White often says, don't believe everything that you read. I've read on the internet retirement rumors connected to you.
It's everywhere.
And I want you to speak on that. Where do you think you are at your career at this point, 37 years old? You speak to it.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know where that come from. It's like, I end up seeing that everywhere. And a lot of people are like, oh, what's going on with this? I'm like, I've got no idea where that come from. Obviously, I think it would have just come from, you know, I'm 37 years old. They probably know it's not too far away. And I'm not going to lie to everyone and act like, yeah, I've got another 10 years in me. Like, we know we don't. You're going to take every fight as it goes. I'm feeling really good right now. And as I told you before, we're going to do things correctly so we can get as many fights as we can. I want to, you know, I said I wanted to this second title reign, I want it to be a reign. You know, I don't want it just to be get the title and that's it. Like, I'm getting back in there because I want to defend a few times. You know what I mean? Not only make that money, keep adding to that legacy, and yeah, just keep doing my thing. So right now it's going to be, you know, every fight, I guess you never know. You've got to see how the fight camps go, how the fights go. But there's no plans on retiring, that's for sure.
So this is not the retirement fight.
Nah, I don't know where
Sydney.
that come from. Literally,
Hey.
that's there. I've seen that everywhere. I just don't know where that come from.
We'll end on some good news.
Maybe I'll just say that, and then you know, everyone can
Right.
tune in and be like, "Sorry guys, no, I'm still
Hey.
going."
Good news to end on. Alex, thanks very much.
No worries. Thank you.